This week in Louisiana agriculture.
I'm AJ Sabine here at the Port of Greater Baton Rouge. The General Administration and two state agencies favor a new tenant down at the port. I'll have the latest coming up.
Crawfish are expensive and hard to find right now, but is a change a-coming? I'm Avery Davidson with that story ahead.
I'm Kristen Oakes. I'll show you how one company is helping you ship.
Hello, I'm Michael Dana. Thanks so much for joining us. Louisiana grain farmers who support the Louis Dreyfus proposal in its bid to win the lease at the Port of Greater Baton Rouge now have the support of the General Administration and two state agencies. A much anticipated economic impact study released just 2 days before port commissioners decide who operates the grain elevator there says the Dreyfus proposal would provide the greatest economic benefit to the port and Louisiana agriculture. As This Week in Louisiana Agriculture's AJ Sabine explains, the Dreyfus plan could be worth as much as $33 million a year to Louisiana grain farmers.
For the past decade, Louisiana grain farmers have seen a steady decline in the price Cargill sets for their grain. Now all that could change if the Greater Baton Rouge Port Commission follows the recommendations of an economic impact study backed by the General Administration. The LSU AgCenter study, commissioned by the Louisiana Department of Agriculture, says the Louis Dreyfus lease proposal would increase the price of grain by as much as 30 cents per bushel. The LSU AgCenter's Mike Selassie, the lead author of the study, says if Dreyfus lands the lease, it could mean a huge windfall for Louisiana grain producers.
Dreyfus does not have any elevators on the Mississippi River that's going to be supplying grain to this facility. If they're going to come into this market, they're a new entrant. They're going to have to bid up the price to acquire every bushel of grain they get. So we were estimating that if Dreyfus would get the contract, the average price of corn and soybeans in the state could go up 10 to 30 cents a bushel. That would mean about $11 to $33 million extra income to corn and soybean growers in the state.
Additionally, Dreyfus would invest between $5.2 and $7.2 million annually in the port. In contrast, Cargill's lease proposal would invest between $5.1 and $5.2 million in the port each year. Louisiana Commissioner of Agriculture and Forestry Dr. Mike Strain endorsed the study in a letter to port commissioners. He says the study represents what's in the best interest of agriculture as a whole.
They have heard the proposals from both companies. They will hear the proposal, this, and they will study this, and they will take the letters and the recommendations, and at the end of the day, they must decide. We are basing this on what we believe will be in the best interest of the farmers and for the region and all the farmers up and down, this Mississippi River Delta.
According to published reports, General's administration shares Strain's point of view. However, there is one caveat in the Dreyfus proposal. Dreyfus may be able to terminate its lease with the port after only 10 years if certain contractual conditions don't happen, like dredging of the river and permitting. Selassie says he hopes Dreyfus and port commissioners could work through our clauses within the contract. Still, Dr. Selassie says the numbers indicate Dreyfus's clear intention to stay at Port Allen.
If a new company like Dreyfus is saying that they would like to come to the Port of Baton Rouge and invest $75 to $100 million in that facility, they're not looking to leave after 10 years. So hopefully that can be worked out.
Louisiana Economic Development Secretary Stephen Moray also sent a letter to the Port Commission recommending the Dreyfus proposal. For This Week in Louisiana Agriculture, I'm AJ Sabine.
The Greater Baton Rouge Port Commission voted Thursday, February 24th to award the lease contract after the taping of this week's show. To see their decision, you can visit our website, twilatv.org, and then watch us right here next week for the full story on who received the grain elevator lease and what it will mean to farmers and you.